Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Inova Solutions Live. I am Laycya Holmes Graham, and I am the Regional Customer Success Manager for Inova Solutions. And it is my absolute pleasure to have Laura Padilla with me today. She is the IT business partner at SIMED, and she's based in Puerto Rico,
Yes.
and it is just an honor to have you on as our customer guest today.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
So I just want to tell anyone who is here, please let us know if you are Team Live, Team Replay. Please type in hashtag Team Live, Team Replay. Please follow us. Follow us on LinkedIn. Look for Inova Solutions NV and follow us there. Follow us on Instagram as well as YouTube, where you can see the replays. And let us know where you're from. If you are from Laura's corner of the base of the world. If you're from Puerto Rico, please let us know if you're supporting her today. If you're from Jamaica, let us know if you're from Curacao, if you're from Trinidad, if you're from Barbados, if you're from Anguilla, Guyana, wherever you're from, let us know. We're just excited to have you here again for our consistent live at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 2 o'clock Curacao and Puerto Rico time. So, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. It is a pleasure. You
Thank
have been
you.
in the IT industry for a quarter of a century. People like to say 25 years. I like to say it like that because there's this understanding that you have been a part of so much. You've seen so much change. You've seen a
Yeah.
lot happen. Tell us about CMED. What is CMED about?
Well, CIMED is we're a medical malpractice insurance company based in Puerto Rico, but we're not just about selling the insurance. We are more than that. We want to add value to what we do. So our why statement, our reason of being, is to protect the careers of those who care about us. I mean, we insure medical professionals, which have been in the line of battle during the pandemic, caring for us. So we want to protect them by protecting their career and,
Wow.
holding their hand during those years of their career. So we focus on innovation, and we're very open to innovate, create new ideas, and we like to empower our employees also. And we have a strong sense of core values that we follow, so we can provide, the best service that we can to our customers.
That's amazing. I just wanna I really have to salute you for that. Um, being the insurer of persons in the front line of the
Yes,
medical and pandemic battle. Thank you for the service that you're doing
thank
for
you.
them. You know, persons in that field have gone through so much.
We know that.
They
Yes,
experience a lot
yes.
together, and sometimes they feel so alone. And thank you.
And
Thank
that's
you.
why we're there for them.
Exactly.
Being able to hold their hand during the process, it's important for us.
It is. It is. Thank you very
Yes.
much for that. And thanks for letting us know who you are. So I understand that you guys are thriving since the pandemic. Can you talk
Yes.
about why you're thriving? I mean, so many other customers are surviving, they're holding. How did that happen?
Well, I think what was very important for us is that we already had a business continuity plan
Mm,
that we had put together. And we were prepared for this type of situation. For example, everyone had laptops. So we didn't have to go out and buy new equipment, or people didn't have to use their own equipment. We provided their laptops for them. We already had set up our VPN access, and we had moved a lot of our things to the cloud. We use a lot of software as a service, including our PBX. So our call center was already cloud based. So it didn't matter, if they were at the office or at home. We can use our phone from our laptops or from our cell phone, and the customer won't know the difference whether we're at the office or at home. And I think that was important because it was transparent to them where we were. But what was more important is that we were able to provide the same type of service that we do at the office, and we didn't have any business interruption. I mean, we were on lockdown on a Sunday, and on Monday we were working from home. That's basically how it was. So, and also during the pandemic, we were able to keep innovating. So it didn't stop us from, implementing new technologies, offering new services in our website. For example, we even came up with a new and better website with a new customer portal. We now have a chat where they can chat online with our customer service representatives from our website, and that's important, and that's why I say that we have thrived during the pandemic. Also, using technology like Teams, we have been able to do so many things that we normally we offer seminars, we have meetings and events with our vendors and our partners. We did them virtually, and they were successful. And I could say, we were even able to reach more people virtually because they didn't have to travel from 2 hours from another town or whatever. So, and they were a success. And I think we have adopted that technology throughout the company. We use Teams for all our meetings. And we also have events for our employees to keep them engaged, to keep that sense of belonging. Even if you're working from home, you don't feel alone or lonely. We have a group meeting each week. At the beginning, we were having them almost daily, just a touch point each day to know how everyone was doing, how everyone was surviving, what problems we were having, and now, well, it's maybe once or twice a week, but we still have that touch point with everyone because not everyone is at the office yet. We're working in a hybrid environment. So that we want to keep that sense, that we are integrated and that we're a company. So, and that has helped a lot.
That is really amazing. And I love the fact that you mentioned that there was a IT strategy around business continuity, but you also mentioned a very important aspect, which is the connectedness of the people,
Yes.
people, and how in the world you are keeping touch with your staff and everyone in the company. You had a touch point daily with the staff, and then now you have it not daily but a little less. And so that would have served to ensure that persons feel united during a time of crisis,
Yes.
and business continuity can take place not only in that section, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I think the other question that I had was around the critical factors, right, that differentiated you in the pandemic. So let's look at before the pandemic, right? Most persons were quite fine with what they had.
Yes.
Approaching conversations with customers would be, we suggest that you do this because you could have a crisis. And they say, well, the likelihood of having a crisis, not so much.
Yes.
The crisis happens, and then persons say, wow, I really need the help. So, in terms of the critical factors that differentiated you before the pandemic, could you share what those three are before and then what the three are now? And the reason I'm asking is because I definitely want our audience to understand the difference between what your success factors look like in a time of steadiness versus a time of crisis. What would you say those are?
Yes, I think, I mean, I mentioned the business continuity plan, and that was, I would say that's the most, one of the most critical factors, pre and post pandemic. Pre pandemic, you have to have the plan, not only have the plan, but you have to execute it, even if it's a tabletop exercise that you do each year, every 6 months, because people have to know, what they're supposed to do when the emergency comes around, right?
Right.
So it's important to have those exercises. If you have, we have replication sites for servers, for example. So we have to do a failover exercise each year. So we know that it's working and that it'll work in a time of crisis. So post pandemic, I think we have tested that our business continuity plan works, but it still
Right.
has, places where we can improve it, definitely. Because when you think about business continuity, you mostly think maybe hurricanes, and natural disasters like that, but you don't tend to think about pandemics. So, and those were things that now we have to add to that plan and to those exercises that we do. Um,
Okay.
Something else I would say is the speed in which we adopt new technology.
Mm.
Pre-pandemic, maybe you had the idea, like you said, and maybe you bring it before, but you wait, and maybe it's not the right time to do it, or people are afraid of change, or they think they're not going to know how to use it. Post pandemic, I think people have lost that fear of technology. They're more technology savvy. They're more open to adopt new technology because they know that during the pandemic, the technology helped them to continue working. So I think that it's like a paradigm shift that has happened, and when I see my employees, pre and post, I think that that's one of the biggest change I've noticed, that people are now more open to technology and not afraid to use it.
Wonderful. And that's a good, that's very good actually. That
Yeah.
persons are now more open to the use of technology. It naturally is unfortunate that it's because of a crisis, but it's good that there's more openness to change. And thanks for sharing that difference. But you did highlight that there was a commonality, the fact that you have to have a business continuity strategy,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that's critical. And having the Inova team work with you on that and ensuring that you had that. How can you share what type of help did we provide you in order for you to feel comfortable with having that strategy in place, and also looking at, for example, you have a lot of adoption to do now, right? How are we helping you with that?
So with Innova, we've worked, for example, for our team's adoption plan, which we had to, accelerate. But we already had that plan for us during last year. We were going to adopt teams. We were going to use it with our vendors, with our partners, to to exchange information, and they were there for us. They helped us train our employees and our vendors. Also, we use Teams to provide Teams training. So that's I think that's amazing. And we've had other projects that have come up during the pandemic that we've been working with Inova. We've been trying to automate some processes using Power Apps, and that's coming up really nice also.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful. That's great. I really have to say that I am very, it just makes me so joyful to be speaking to you about the fact that you guys made the decision to be brave, to be bold, to make the change before a crisis. And even if it was after another one, you still took a decision to make a change. Because and that does require some form of bravery and acceptance of the fact that crisis can happen without you knowing. There are no statistics for it, really, because
Mhm.
that's what a crisis is. It can
Yes,
happen randomly.
exactly.
And so I really have to commend you for that, and
Thank you.
also commend you for the
Mhm.
adoption of your technology. And that's an area that I want to share with our guests that we are very versed on regionally, just helping our customers, especially yourself, Laura, on the adoption of the technology. And Teams has really, really, really helped you in that
Mhm.
area. And we're just glad to be a part of this journey with you. I don't want to take up too much more
Mhm.
of your time because I know that we had an agreement in terms of what we were discussing. So, is there anything else that you would really want to just share with us in terms of what advice you would give to customers regionally? You know, having sat for quarter of a decade going through so much change, leading a team through the largest crisis that we have faced from a medical
Mhm.
perspective in the last 100 years, the last century. Being a part of this historically, what advice would you give to persons not only in your industry, but persons outside?
Sure. Yes, I want to stress, again, the importance of the business continuity plan, but also, don't be afraid to use technology. Be open to changes, and when you adopt new technology, also think about the security side. Have always that, in mind. Does it comply with your policies and with your security standards? That I think that's very important. And know what are the risks involved, what vulnerabilities there are with the software, so you can address them. And I think it's very important to train your users so that they feel comfortable with the tools that they have. Don't shame them if they don't know how to use them, but instead provide them what they need. If it's a training in whatever tool they need. But make it in a way so that they don't feel shame in saying, I need help or I don't know how to use this. I think that's important.
I love that.
Also, I think it's very important to know the tools you have and to know what they have to offer. I think a lot of us have Office 365 licenses and we don't know the extent of what they can cover, all the other tools that are included in that license that we can use for our business. It's not just Outlook and Excel and Word. We have Teams, we have Forms, we have Power Apps, Power Automate. There's so many things that we can use, and they're all there, integrated in one platform and available to you in the cloud, which is important for if you're working remotely during the pandemic or after. And another thing that I would, it's very important for us is that you should maintain a cybersecurity awareness culture among your employees. And
Wow.
I say this and I stress it because
Yes,
during
yes,
the pandemic, we've seen a
yes.
huge increase in phishing emails and ransomware attacks and all that. So it's very important that your employees know how to identify these emails,
Wow.
and that they know that they should, report them, do phishing
Wow.
simulations with
Yeah.
them more often than before, because they
Yeah.
should be aware. So that you don't fall for the fish. And lastly, I would say, it's very important to have a very good business partner. And I think Inova it comes here. You can buy a Microsoft license from anyone. Basically, you can go into Microsoft portal and buy it, and without any partners. But I think having a partner is important because they help you with your business needs and they're there for you. And I see a lot of similarities between Inova and SIMED, because we're there for our customers also. We're not just selling insurance, and you're not just selling licenses. It's more than that. And I think that's very valuable. And I really appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. We thank you for that, for those kind words. Thank you so much, and it is truly our pleasure to serve, to serve our customers. It's very important to our customers for them to feel that we are serving them and ensuring that they are successful. If our customers are not successful, then we cannot profess to be successful,
Sure.
right? We are a technology company, and technology is an enabler. So we enable your success. That's our role. So it's a pleasure to really have you here to talk, to share your expertise, to share your wisdom and your knowledge on all of what you've been through, what you've seen, what you are going through now. And thank you for the time. Thank you for letting other customers know regionally what they should focus on. A lot of what we've shared in previous lives, and it's just great for others to connect with what
Yes.
you're saying, because a lot of what you're saying is so important. It's so important. And thank you for being brave. Thank you for being bold. Thank you for serving the medical professionals. And please keep serving them. They are going through a lot, and they need you guys to
Yes.
survive and thrive so that they can also be protected
Yes.
as well. So it is our pleasure to serve the people of Puerto Rico in that way. And thank you so much for joining.
Yes. Well,
Uh,
thank you for having me.
you're welcome.
It's a
Thank you so
pleasure.
much, audience, for joining us. Please, please, please feel free to send us any questions. Make sure you follow us on Inova Solutions NV on LinkedIn, Inova Solutions NV on Instagram. Please follow us on Inova Solutions on YouTube as well. And if you have any questions for myself or the team, you can always message us via the Inova Solutions LinkedIn page, or feel free to send us an email. The team will send my email in the chat and others. And feel free to give us a call. Go to our website. All of us are available. Thank you again, Laura. It was just great. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to talking to you otherwise.
Yes.
Have a great, great, great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Good afternoon.